All right, this episode of the Quarantine Show cooking segment is brought to you by the Oven Mitt. Keep your hands burn free in style. The Oven Mitt. All right, today we're going to learn how to hard boil an egg. First thing you want to do with all cooking times is wash your hands. So I'm going to go wash my hands. So there are a couple little tricks to hard boiling a chicken egg. The first is that you want to fill your pan full of eggs before you put the water in it so that you don't accidentally crack them. So I'm going to fill this pan full of my eggs like so. Now I have jumbo sized eggs, which means I'm going to have to boil them a little bit longer than I would smaller size eggs. Once you have your pan full of eggs, you're going to take it to the sink and then fill it with cold water. All right, I have my pan full of eggs and water now. I'm going to go ahead and turn on the heat to about a medium of 5. Now, the funny thing about eggs is that the longer you heat them, the more likely the yolk is to turn green, which is kind of gross and disgusting. So what we're going to do is bring the water to a boil and then take it away right off the heat, and we're going to let it set for about 17 minutes since these are jumbo eggs. If they were small eggs, we'd do more like 14 minutes. That way the eggs cook, but the yolks don't turn a nasty green color. Now, if you've ever sat around waiting for a pot of water to boil, you know it takes a long time. So we're going to pause here. All right, our eggs are almost to a boil. When I look in the pot, I can see lots of little bubbles covering the eggs, so I know that any moment now we're going to get a fuller boil. So you can see the little bubbles on the eggs right there. You don't actually have a boil until the water is really bubbling up to the surface. So we're going to get that in a moment. All right. You can hear the sound of the eggs starting to boil now. In just a moment, when it's really going, we're going to cover them with the lid, turn off the heat, and move them to the side. Remember, if you leave them on the heat for too long, you're going to get nasty green yolks in the middle, and no one wants to bite into that. Here we go. Let's take one more look. Almost there. If you notice, one of the eggs has a small crack in it, and at this point, that's not really a big deal, because when we go to eat it later, we're going to want the shell to come off anyway. And the outside should already be cooked enough that the water getting in there won't make a big difference. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. These puppies are ready. We will check back on those in 17 minutes. Let me set a timer. All right, see you in 17. All right, our timer is going off, so I'm going to stop the timer. And then I have prepared a bowl of cold water. They were called for ice water. I didn't have ice cubes, so I put it in the freezer the whole time. I'm going to grab that. And we are going to use a slotted spoon so that the water drains out. We're going to carefully move our eggs one at a time into the cold water. If they crack at this point, don't worry. We're going to be taking those shells off when we go to eat them anyway. Very gently move from one bowl to the other. And after just a little bit of time, about 5 minutes in the ice water, we should be able to crack one of these open and take a look at the inside. And we should find nice, fully cooked egg whites and a bright yellow yolk with little or no green. Oh look, I got 2. All right, here are the last 2 of a full dozen eggs. A dozen eggs would be 12. All right, about 5 minutes, those are going to be.
We sort of love our fish. It's supposed to be so romantic. It's just a bridge. What? Yeah, those blocks are.
Oh, this one?
I love it. Yeah, how many people are still together today? All of them. In some way. It's such a romantic. Yeah, well, I wrote a book called Love in Paris, right? Yeah, until I go back to the real life.
You can order online, see ratings and reviews, and get those appliances brought right to your door. Start summer with this Samsung Home Repair. TheHomeDepot.com. How doers get more done.
These big old homes have big stories. If the house is condemned, I'm coming in. I was not expecting that. The better the bargain,
I love this house.
the better the returns.
Set your TV on for an all-new bargain mattress. Tuesday night on HGTV and HGTV Go.
And if you look inside, perfectly yellow. No sign of green at all. This has been Quarantine Today. Hard-boiled eggs.